Hi, and welcome to another episode of Legislative Report. I'm State Representative Ryan Mackenzie, and this episode, we're at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. It's the 101st Pennsylvania Farm Show, and it's a great event that is held every year here in Pennsylvania to celebrate our agriculture and the community that surrounds it. Right now, I'm joined by the Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Great to see you. Welcome.
Absolutely. So you've been enjoying the farm show, and it's something you do every year to the highlight of the agriculture community throughout the year here in Pennsylvania. Tell me a little bit about what we have going on this year.
It's been an amazing week. Last year we celebrated 100 years and a great century, great show. But there's also something really special about a start of a new century and a chance to really talk about your history, but also look forward a bit, and that's what we're trying to do in this show. We've done some really interesting things this year with the 101 Farm Show, 101st Farm Show. We're doing an Ag 101, playing off sort of the educational nomenclature 101, know a little more, the things you can't really stop and sort of check out in a really detailed way. We're putting that on the stage, talking about alpacas and Pennsylvania barns and hex signs and spotted lanternfly, all kinds of topics. Really great show, though. A lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm for what we're doing.
Absolutely. So a lot of great topics there. Why don't you just start by telling me what some of the big agriculture industries are here in the state, actually?
Yeah, so we're first in mushrooms, which is always worth noting, and folks are like, really? I mean, yes, it's all in sort of southeastern Pennsylvania. We're in the top 5 in dairy, number 1 in hardwoods, particularly cherry that comes out of our Allegheny National Forest. It's our number 1 export out of Pennsylvania agriculturally. Beef cattle, grains, fresh markets. It's an amazing list.
Very diverse.
Very diverse, yeah.
Great. Well, so now part of the responsibility of the Agriculture Department, not only to promote our agriculture community, but also make sure that there is food security. So can you tell me a little bit about what you do to make sure that not only we have good tasting food, but also a secure food supply?
Yeah, food security is one of those issues that there's a couple of pieces to it. At the very core of the department is the public health and safety, which includes plant, animal, and food. And that's a big part of what we do, a lot of emphasis on, the whole food system, if you will, but food security specifically for us takes a couple of forms. One, just at farm level, making sure that, one, you can produce, but also that is done with the highest standards. And then on the other end is in the charitable food system. And we have responsibilities as a department for the food banks, the soup kitchens, the product that comes out of our federal farm programs, that goes into either school lunch or goes in the charitable food system. Plus the state is a contributor to that with our own supplemental food assistance program. You've got some great partners in your district that help us out by private contribution and help distribute that great product.
Yeah, and one of those programs that plays into that is helping the harvest. Can you talk a little bit about that program?
So in just the last sort of hunting season, we celebrated 1 million pounds of venison from Pennsylvania hunters. I mean, this is the amazing thing to me. These each of these individuals, with their purchase of a license and their success, with bagging the game, they have the option to donate that deer or part of that deer to the charitable food system.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It is an amazing story, 20 years on.
And then that goes out to the food banks?
All of that protein goes straight out to the food banks and the soup kitchens and the pantries around Pennsylvania.
That's fantastic. What a great program. And now some of the other things you do are some things that people might not be aware of. I understand recently you hosted some agriculture officials from South Korea. Tell me a little bit how that came about and what they were doing here.
Yeah, so the South Koreans, they came to the U.S. Department of Agriculture in D.C. to talk about trade generally, but they very specifically wanted to talk to Pennsylvania, and our reason for hosting them was to talk about high-path avian influenza, which was the poultry, the threat of that poultry disease and virus, we had last year. We continue to be on high alert for it. Sure. But their interest is in making sure that since they are buying Pennsylvania product, is that they felt pretty comfortable with our biosecurity measures, our handling of that from a food safety standpoint. So we had a chance to talk to them at length, show them the process. What was really important for them is to know that we had a frontline diagnostic system. So this is where, when you talk about the appropriations for University of Pennsylvania Vet School, Penn State University and our vet lab, as well as the lab here in Harrisburg, they were impressed that is a real-time diagnostic system that the state of Pennsylvania has, not that we're relying exclusively on the federal partners, but actually a state mechanism and a state investment.
Great. Well, this that we're doing here with the Pennsylvania Farm Show again celebrates agriculture in Pennsylvania. But now going forward, do you have any concerns, or are you optimistic about Pennsylvania's agriculture going forward? Tell me a little bit about what you think about the future of Pennsylvania's agriculture.
I'm excited about it. As I say to everybody, it's an industry, it's a business without walls, right? Every bit of business. So the same issues of access to a workforce, access to capital, access to a market, all of those things that are on Main Street, you see right out on the farm lanes, right? So we have a lot of concerns right now about what's going to happen to the economics of agriculture. There isn't a farmer in Pennsylvania who wasn't happy about waving goodbye to 2016 because of the economics. We're entering 2017 optimistic. Personally, I'm excited about it. I think we've got a great story. We're at the right place in the geography where you've got 50 million people in this market. We're in the food business, so access to them has been critical. We've got a great infrastructure, everything from the land-grant university system to the ag businesses that support it, and a great partnership with the legislature and our stakeholders, so very optimistic.
Great. Well, Mr. Secretary, I want to thank you for your time and thank you for all the work you do for Pennsylvania agriculture. And now we're going to head out. We're actually going to talk to a local business from my district as well as a local family who entered a competition here as well.
That's great. So, have fun. All
thank
the best
you,
to
Mr.
you. Thank
Secretary.
You. Good to see you. Thank
Enjoy
you.
the show.